Hey everybody, this is Zach with IT Career Questions, and today I am going to tell you guys the good things and maybe the bad things about getting a degree. And this question stems from a Juan Hernandez, who was in the live stream that I did the other night, and I told him I was going to do a video to this very question because it's a very, very good question. And I'll read the question to you because it was a good one, and I'll sum it up kind of, sort of. But he said, it seems to me like the current education system does very little to prepare college students to work in their field since it's more book than hands-on. Would you say that self-teaching is the only way? So that was an excellent question, and there's lots of points to be made to that question. I don't know how I can get started because there's so many things that I could say to that. So I'll try to sum this up as quickly and as best as I possibly can. Going to college will not give you that hands-on experience that you need in a job. They just don't do that. That's not what a college does. A college will give you all the fundamentals of working in IT, all your book smarts and basics of this is what IT is like. You know, this is what you can maybe kind of expect. It guides you somewhat. You know, it teaches you somewhat. It shows you what to do somewhat. And because every single business environment is completely different from another one, it's almost impossible for a college to really teach you hands-on. I mean, of course they can try to teach you hands-on, but every single business does things differently anyway. So it's almost pointless for a college to go out and try to teach you hands-on at some point anyway, only because you're going to learn a million different ways if you work a million different IT jobs. So colleges do very little for that hands-on experience, and that's just the way that it is. And that's what you're going to have to expect. They're not going to be very hands-on. I'm sorry. You will have your labs and you will do a little bit of hands-on, but as far as real world, experience, real world, this is IT, you're not going to see that in college. Like that. It's not there. And that's okay, because you're going to get a degree. Now, that's a whole nother ballgame there, right? You're going to have a degree. There's where the self-teaching is going to come into play, where I'm going to tell you about the good things and the bad things of IT. So this is where his question and self-teaching, and when I said I'm going to tell you the good and bad about a degree, let me talk about the self-teaching for a minute. Self-teaching is great because you are going to really learn maybe a lot, possibly a lot more than you would learn in college. And you'll learn differently. And you might learn the best way that you possibly can. And you might open yourself up to different experiences. And that's okay. That's great. Self-teaching is excellent. You can do a lot self-teaching. And even if you go to college, you can self-teach on your own. And trust me, you want to do that. You want to build your own home lab. Whether you're self-teaching or you're going to college, build a home lab, please, because you want to learn everything you possibly can. So, trying to get a job based on just self-teaching yourself, and I've talked about this before, it's really, really hard to do. You really, really have to know a lot of things. And you could self-teach, but you have to have that experience. And I talked about the experience. You need to have experience with the internships or community service type of stuff, where you volunteer your time to different organizations that they may teach you some IT things. And you may be able to get a good job after all of those things. And you may be able to self-teach your way into a certification or something like that. But it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do self-teaching and going somewhere. It's not the way that it used to be. And that's because everybody pretty much wants to see a degree. Every business really would preferably like to see a degree. And I guess I shouldn't say every business, because I don't have a degree and I work in IT. And I've worked in IT for a long time, but I have years of experience. So there's that really weird you know, that really weird zone between, you know, experience or a degree, you know. But there are jobs out there, and there are great jobs out there that will not even look at you, will not even consider you, will throw your application in the garbage if you do not have a degree. Is it good to have a degree? Yes, absolutely. Will a degree get you a job over somebody who doesn't have a degree? 70% of the time, I would say yes, it will. It probably will. And I want you guys to keep this in mind. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean shit. And I apologize for using foul language. It doesn't mean anything. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean you know anything. It means that you took the time to go to school and learn these things, and you know, you dedicated your life, those 4 years, 2 years, whatever it took you to get that degree, to actually get that piece of paper that says you are, you know, you have a degree in whatever, right? It doesn't mean that you know anything. I have known plenty of people who work in IT, who have degrees, who don't know a damn thing. They literally know nothing. The only reason why they have jobs is because they have a degree. They pretty much fluff their way through their entire careers based on the fact that they have a degree. So that's fine and dandy. They get by on, you know, the little knowledge that they have, and they can do the little menial tasks here and there, but they're idiots for the most part. And that's not everybody who has a degree, and I don't want you guys to just assume you have a degree and everybody who has a degree is an idiot. And there are plenty of people out there who have degrees who are brilliant and smart and everything like that. But there are more people out there, and I don't mean more, I just mean percentage-wise. If you would break it down probably in a percentage, I would imagine there's probably more people out there, percentage-wise, who are self-taught, who are so much smarter than people who have degrees. People who self-teach, I swear to God, those people are so smart. Anybody who I've worked with in IT who does not have a degree, and there's been a lot of them. A lot of people I've worked with in IT have no degrees, right? No degrees, no certifications. They've worked in IT for years, whether that's, you know, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. The smartest people I've ever met in my life. Like literally the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And they do their jobs better than anybody I've ever seen. They know more things about their specific job or just IT related things than anybody I've ever known. But again, there's people out there with degrees that know just as much. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you're going to know more or little or whatever. I've worked with plenty of people who have degrees and they're just as brilliant. There's just this huge stigma on both of them, on both of these things, whether you have a degree or whether you don't have a degree, whether you should get a degree or you shouldn't get a degree. The bottom line is, it's 2017, you should probably get a degree. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, that's just, I'm going to break it down to you, get a degree. Because when people are going through applications, they want to see that degree. And that's just the truth. There are plenty of jobs out there that don't really care if you have a degree or not. But I promise you, the door will open more for you if you have a degree. You will have more opportunities for you if you have a degree. Hands down. And that's literally about all that I can say on this specific subject. I know this video has gone on much longer than I wanted it to, and I couldn't even touch all of what I wanted to, so I know I'll make another video on this because this is really, really important. But I hope this kind of makes sense. I hope it somewhat makes a little bit of sense. I hope this gets through to a lot of people who are debating on whether you get a degree or you don't get a degree. And again, I don't want to discourage you if you don't want to get a degree. If you don't want to get a degree, don't get a degree. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't think about it anymore. Don't get a degree. Dedicate the next 5 years of your life to teaching yourself everything you possibly can about IT, because that's what it's going to take. That is literally what it's going to take. It's going to take you years to teach yourself all that you need to know about IT. And I say 5 years because 5 years is a good solid number to really have a strong grasp on all these things. And in those 5 years, you need to get experience. And if you don't get experience, you're not going to do anything. So, again, I hope this video makes sense. I went on way longer than I wanted it to, but it's really something that I feel very, very passionately about, and something that I really, really wanted to relay to you guys. So if you guys have any questions or comments, concerns, anything, just leave a comment below and I will try to get back to you or reply to you or make another video or something. So as always, I greatly appreciate you guys watching and leaving comments and checking out my live feed, because doing live stuff is pretty awesome. I really enjoy that. I'll probably do a live thing right now, right after this video. So anyway, as always, take it easy.